Good evening and welcome to special program. Like we promised to you, we'll come back to see you every Wednesday night until we have our new government. So it'll be like this for a little while. And tonight you're with Tulip Maxwell Poplao and Frank Hanchi.
Yes.
And we will start off with the positive news, right? Because finally this week the Election Commission already announced that they will confirm all 500 member of parliament.
Yes, that's really important because actually before this week, the situation was not clear at all. But actually this Monday, the Election Commission already certified the 500 MPs, including 400 constituency MPs and 100 party list MP.
And all of them can go into Election Commission office to collect their certification until this Saturday. However, Election Commission Secretary General Sawang Bunmi said at the press conference that the Commission still has the authority to investigate if there is any evidence that an MP was elected in bad faith. The EC can file a petition with the Supreme Court to revoke results and order a new election, which has to be completed within 1 year of the May 14th original election. Sawang said that EC has certified the results because any ongoing investigations cannot be completed within 60 days and they have to be fair to all sides and go through all the submitted documents. They actually said that there's so many documents submitted and 60 days not enough to go through everything. So he said might as well just certify all of them and then go through it in the meantime.
But they will at the same time actually do investigation. So they still have the right to do investigate. If they see anything really in bad faith or fraudulent, they have the right to actually ask the member of parliament to off from the list.
Yeah. He also said that there were 31,522,698 valid votes for the party list candidates, with a ratio of over 375,000 per MP. So there are a total of 17 parties which are elected to parliament through the party list system. So in overall, Move Forward Party gained the most party list member parliaments. The number is 39. Pheu Thai has 29, United Thai Nation has 13, Democrats and Phum Chai Thai Party each has 3, Pracha Chat Party has 2, another 11 parties each have 1. These parties are Thai Teachers for the People Party, Chat Thai Patana Party, Chat Patana Kla Party, the Party of Thai Counties, Thai Sang Thai Party, New Democracy Party, Fair Party, Palang Sangkhom Mai Party, Thai Liberal or Seri Rwam Thai Party, and the New Party.
So we all know actually right now the party, which party get how many seats right now, and right now we go into the timeline. That is really important. Thailand's new House of Representatives to hold its first meeting in July. That's the anticipated date by all the media. The first meeting of the House of Representatives is expected to be held in July between the 4th and the 6th July, according to Move Forward Party Secretary General Chaithawat Dulathorn. Chaithawat said the party has assigned its legal team to receive all the certificates from the Election Commission, confirming the election of the party's 150 members of parliament, but all its MP will finally report to the parliament on next Tuesday, 27th June simultaneously. A meeting of the leader of the 8 coalition party is scheduled for this Thursday. However, Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjaroenrat unfortunately has tested positive for COVID-19 and will not be able to attend the meeting. And actually, normally they have meeting every Tuesday and they move to this Thursday. And unfortunately, again, Pita got COVID. So we all will see each other on next Tuesday, June 27th. There has been no report whether he will attend virtually, but Chaithawat, the Secretary General, said earlier that since the number of House seats won by each of the 8 parties is now really clear, talks on ministerial appointments and other important posts are expected to go smoothly. Regarding talks with senators over support for the prime ministerial candidacy of Pita Limjaroenrat, the Secretary General said he has been trying his best and he believes many senators are politically mature and do not want to see a political impasse if a prime minister cannot be appointed. Pheu Thai party leader Zonglanan meanwhile said that the issue of the House speakership between the Pheu Thai and Move Forward parties is not resolved yet, although it was agreed in principle that the party which won the most House seats should get the post, and the second party, which is the Pheu Thai, will get the 2 deputy House Speaker posts. And the head of Pheu Thai also say that meeting of party leaders this Thursday will not discuss issues which are still being negotiated. This is the drama, right?
It just sounds funny, right? We're going to have meeting among coalition parties. If the thing is not like finalized yet, isn't it supposed to be something you should talk among the meeting?
They should talk among the meeting, but I think that's the struggles, right? Because right now, of course, some news say that the House Speaker will go to Move Forward Party, the deputy will go to Pheu Thai, but there's another side said that no, we haven't confirmed yet, so we still have to talk.
And for Cholanan to say that, this resolve of House Speakership is not resolved, but we agree that the position will go to the party with the most seats in the House. So right now it's clear that it's Move Forward Party. Why he says it's not resolved? I don't know.
It's kind of like they're still in between, right? Of course, everyone thinks that the party gets the most seats, they should get the House Speakership.
Traditionally, it has been like that.
Yeah, but we have to see all the negotiation in the future. I think next week we will know who will be the House Speaker in negotiations.
The official of the Office of the Secretariat of the House of Representatives already conducted the rehearsal of the process of vote for the House Speaker, the Deputy House Speaker, and also the Prime Minister. So whoever gonna win, whoever gonna get the position, they have to rehearse the process of making it happen. An informed parliamentary source said that the selection of the House Speaker and 2 Deputy Speakers is expected to take place within 15 days following the official opening of the new parliamentary session or around the middle of July. For the selection of their chosen candidates for the 3 Speaker posts, member parliaments will cast secret ballots. However, the selection of the Prime Minister will take place during the joint session of member parliaments and senators. It will be done by a roll call vote, with each member parliament or senator approving or not approving the Prime Minister candidate or abstaining from voting. The candidate must receive at least 376 votes from the joint session to be endorsed as the next Prime Minister. Currently, Move Forward Party leader Pithat Limcharoenrat is the sole Prime Ministerial candidate. The 8 coalition parties command a combine of 313 votes in the House, and they need at least 63 votes from the senators to secure Pithat's position as Thailand's next Prime Minister.
That's the threshold, 376 votes in the parliament.
We can say that it's not certain yet because the coalition party altogether, they have 313, so they need 63 more. And who knows what's going to happen until that day.
Yeah, as what we said, actually the media already recorded around 20 senators right now, of course, publicly say that we're going to vote for Pithat Limcharoenrat, but actually right now they still have 40-ish. They still have to get support from senators.
You know that there is a kind of process of pressuring senators going on from some certain group of people, for some certain media. They try to pressure each senator to say what they're going to do, whether they're going to vote for Pithat. But we won't know until it happens.
Yeah, as what you said, actually, I went to the parliament few weeks ago to interview Min, the activist leader, and she said that actually right now the senator, they should respect the democratic process, of course.
And they should respect the democratic process, right? It means everybody have the right to voice their opinion, so they shouldn't try to pressure anyone. So senators have their own choice to make as well. And of course, Move Forward Party is the most popular party. They got 32 million votes for the majority for party list. So Pithat seems to be the most popular one. But you have to think there is, not 32 million, 32% of the votes went to move forward. But that means there is another 60-something% that didn't vote for move forward.
So that's why I think they should discuss in the parliament because that's the very democratic place for parliament, including, of course, House speakers and senators to talk about the process, and at the end they vote for the premiership in the future. I think in July we will know who the new prime minister is. Next topic, I think it's really important to, that will be, I will call it the thorn on Peter's back because because Ruang Khai, the serial petitioner Ruang Khai Likiwatana, has urged the election commission to ask the constitutional court to rule on whether Peter Limjaroenrat is qualified to be a member of parliament in his latest attempt to prevent the party's candidate from becoming prime minister. Now that the election commission has confirmed all 500 members of parliament in the House of Representatives, we call lower house here, Ruang Khai cited section 98 of the constitution. If there is doubt about the qualification of an electoral candidate, because he or she may hold stakes in a media company, the election commission can ask the constitutional court to consider the case. Ruang Khai also said, according to section 82 of the constitution, 1/10 of the members of parliament or senators can ask the House or the Senate Speaker to send their motion to consider the qualification of Peter to the Constitutional Court. He also said if the Constitutional Court accepts the case, it can order Peter to stop performing as a member of parliament until the court issues a ruling on the case. Another really important issue, of course, Peter is reported to have owned 42,000 shares in ITV, allegedly a media company at the time of the election, which was part of the inheritance from his late father 17 years ago. Recently, however, he transferred the shares to other heirs.
But 42,000 shares actually not that much compared to the overall company. But the media share is the media share. So I think it's up to, I don't know, some certain agency to actually decide what they're going to do with this.
Yeah, so actually we talk about it, right? According to the law, no matter one share you get it means that you violate the law. But right now...
But there's some argument said that because he's not directly owned it, he actually a caretaker of the inheritance. So he actually legally not owned it himself. It's like there's like different sides of an argument and whatnot. So I guess eventually we have to come down to the conclusion what the court decide.
And the verdict from the court too, because that's really important. As well, we as media, we talk about, we give news to you, and some sites, they also criticize Peter already have the 43,000 shares, and he should be, eliminated from this election.
Now, another hot topic, when we talk about politics in Thailand right now, we cannot avoid talking about what's going on in ASEAN. Thailand tried to hold informal talk about Myanmar and invite military personnel, high-ranking military personnel from Myanmar to the talk, and invite other ASEAN members to the talk. Of course, there's some objection from ASEAN members. There's a lot to say about that. And academics say that it's the wrong time and the wrong place. If we're going to do it, we should have done this since a while ago. And they even said that we should do it through ASEAN process because ASEAN already have 5 consensus points that they asked Myanmar to follow and all that. So got a lot of criticism. But when it comes to Myanmar policies, academics said that the experts and academics suggest that the next Thai government should adjust foreign policy to ease crisis on strife-torn Myanmar, but should implement such policy cautiously as the stakes for all parties, notably the 2 militaries, are very high. A Western diplomat said that the leniency shown towards the Myanmar Junta State Administration Council, the so-called quiet diplomacy, adopted by the outgoing government under Prayut Chan-o-cha needs to be changed drastically to revive Thailand's international status. The new government should adopt a clear stance on the suppression of democracy and human rights violations along with the international community and ASEAN. He said on condition of anonymity. Associate Professor of Asian Study at Thammasat University, Dr. Dulayapak Pricharat said that Thailand has to voice its support for peace in Myanmar as well as promote joint economic development along the border of the two countries for mutual benefit. He said, however, the two leading parties in the coalition, Move Forward and Pheu Thai, who are likely to form a new government, need to smoothly synchronize their foreign policies toward military rule to Myanmar. A memorandum of understanding signed by coalition partners last month has no specific platform for a solution to the crisis in the neighboring country. On foreign policies, the MOU simply said the new government would revive the leading roles of Thailand in ASEAN and maintain balance of power between Thailand and the superpowers.
Move Forward Party and Pheu Thai share the same goal for Thailand to speak louder and have a more significant role in ASEAN to help ease the conflict in Myanmar for lasting peace. But there are differences in details, where Move Forward has a clear and tough policy towards Myanmar. Dr. Dulayapa said, Pheu Thai's policy to enhance Thailand's international role in promoting peace and economic development was likely practical for the new government to deal with the situation in Myanmar. He explained that Move Forward's tough stance might go well with some ASEAN members, such as current chair Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, but it could jeopardize relations between Bangkok and Naypyidaw. The academic said the game might change when Laos, which has close ties with Myanmar's military government, takes the ASEAN chairmanship next year. And in this case, he said Pheu Thai policy looks more stable.
So Dr. Dulayapak also suggested that if the Move Forward Party managed to form a coalition government and leads the foreign policy towards Myanmar, it would need to fine-tune its stance and policy with bureaucrats in the National Security Council and the Foreign Ministry, which oversaw policy implementation. The Western diplomat and Thammasat academics supported the new government, no matter under whose leadership, to seek more active roles in helping Myanmar achieve peace and reconciliation. Thailand could initiate an informal forum for all stakeholders, including representatives from the military government, national unity government, ethnic armed groups, and civil society organizations to have dialogue in conducive conditions. But that doesn't mean we call it like informal ASEAN meeting or something. Dr. Dulayapak suggested a piecemeal approach to conflict management, beginning with insensitive issues in order to bring all stakeholders on board before moving to essential peace talks.
So actually, we see the Move Forward Party and Pheu Thai, they have different stance against Myanmar and how the policy will connect the relations between Myanmar and Thailand is really vital. I actually asked Peter the question at press conference a few weeks ago. His policy, he wants to really become the lead of ASEAN, the leader of ASEAN to talk, to maintain the relations between the ASEAN members, of course, the mainland ASEAN members too, with Myanmar and Cambodia.
He wants Thailand to take center stage, but right now, currently, Thailand is not a chair of ASEAN. Next year, we're not the chair of the ASEAN, so have to be a little more diplomatic on how we work it out.
And as what the professor said, that it's really important for Peter to think about how to sometimes lessen down the tension and how to work with your coalition partner, the Pheu Thai. You should have merged your policy together and to find a better stance in this sense. Next one, I think just a few, I think it's yesterday, the Move Forward Party, Peter voiced support for ASEAN-led peace efforts for Myanmar. Hopeful Prime Minister Peter Limjaroenrat has reaffirmed his support for ASEAN centrality in resolving the crisis in Myanmar in what is seen as an attempt to distance himself from the current Thai government peace initiative, which has drawn widespread criticism from both local and international human rights and democracy groups. Peter also pledged to have an interagency task force set up in the Prime Minister's office to coordinate multi-pronged efforts and seek solutions to the Myanmar situation. Peter, whose party emerged with the most House seats in the recent general election is in the process of setting up a coalition government with himself as prime minister. Peter has been openly critical of the Prayut government's policy towards Myanmar, which he sees accommodating to the military junta, which seized power in early 2021. The Prayut government has come under heavy criticism for organizing a meeting on Monday as part of its quiet diplomacy approach in dealing with the crisis in Myanmar. Myanmar Foreign Minister was invited to attend the meeting, which was boycotted by 3 ASEAN member countries, including its current chair, Indonesia. Critics accuse the Thai government of according legitimacy to the Myanmar military junta by holding the meeting. Incumbent Foreign Minister of Thailand, however, insisted that the meeting was necessary to discuss a viable solution to the conflict, which is affecting Thailand directly. So actually, like to Myanmar and Thailand, of course, the caretaker government, the caretaker foreign minister, they invited ASEAN and other like China and Laos to come to the meeting, but it draws a lot of criticism.
Yeah, the thing is, Thailand and Myanmar, I believe they have a lot of talks behind the scene because we are neighbor. We share 3,000 kilometers of border. So there's a lot of things that we have to talk about. And like they said, anything happen in Myanmar, it will spill over to Thailand. If you follow the news, you will see that a lot more people just try to fled some conflicts in Myanmar and cross the border and stay in Mae area. And they erect tents and they have no bedroom and they have no electricity, but they have to be there because they flee from something and they believe that will be really damaging. So anything happen to Myanmar affect Thailand badly. But the way we take care of it, I guess just because we share the border, we have to be more careful. But call it ASEAN meeting might be something different.
Yes, because as what you said at the beginning, in 2021 April, because ASEAN member, they already have the 5 consensus to deal with the Myanmar issue. So as for a caretaker government, a caretaker foreign minister to summon all the ASEAN members, invite all the members for the informal talks on Myanmar issues. Of course, there will be a lot of critics from international society. In Facebook post, Peter Limjarena stated that we reiterate our support for the action taken with the ASEAN framework, including those by the previous and current chairs of ASEAN, with a view to achieving the goals and objectives established in the 5-point consensus. Peter said his party and its political alliance will coordinate with all parties and key stakeholders involved in finding solutions to the crisis. He said that we firmly believe the engagement is a critical component of reaching a final solution. An engagement strategy must be inclusive, multi-layered, and appropriate to contribute to the stabilization of Myanmar pursuant to the purposes and principles agreed upon within the framework of ASEAN, including those endorsed by ASEAN leaders at 42nd ASEAN Summit. Peter also emphasizes the need for strategy to deal with the humanitarian crisis in Myanmar and voiced support for an initiative to ensure the delivery of humanitarian assistance that is both indiscriminate and inclusive.
And actually, the reporters asked Prayut Chan-o-cha, current prime minister, about what's going on, why we call this meeting and whatnot. And he said that we don't take any sides, but we need to talk to seek solutions to the problems. That's it. The other things are Myanmar's internal affair, and we don't get involved. That seems to be the theme so far, right? But I think the theme we don't get involved might have to change according to how ASEAN works so far. And then the reporter asked Prayut, if it were proper for a caretaker government to host such an international meeting, Prayut said his government had not made any commitments during the meeting and said the next government could solve the problem in its own way.
So it means that actually in the meeting, they, of course, according to the caretaker Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, there was no consensus at all. We just have a talk, as what you said, maybe under the table
So
they
not
already.
committed anyway.
Yes.
Then it should be on the news then. I guess.
Yes, and just leave it for the next government to handle it. That was really significant, right? Because of course the next government will have many difficulties to deal with, including Myanmar issue too.
This issue actually show for a lot of people. A lot of people just feel like foreign policy is not a big thing, and during the course of election campaign, a lot of party don't talk about foreign policy until we ask. But this actually show that foreign policy do affect everybody's lives, especially right now. Foreign policy with Myanmar affect people's life along the border, Thai side that got affected from all these people that flee the conflict to the side. We help. We have officials from public health ministry. We have officials from many agencies to help make sure that they have good enough condition to stay on.
And it's not just actually the battle on the ground too, because last month this cyclone went into Myanmar at the border. So many refugees actually they crossed the border to come to Thailand for help. So actually that's why PETA throw out the idea about like we need to have an agency in the parliament, in the premier house to help them to tackle directly. That's the issue.
Well, actually, we have been sending aids to help people that has been affected by the cyclone in Myanmar. But I guess we haven't heard it much on the news. But anyway, that is the latest update on what's going on the road to the new government in Thailand. And of course, we don't have new government yet, so we'll come back to see you again next week on Wednesday. But before that, this Friday we have our usual program this week with Thai PBS World. It will be me, usually with Nat Bunna. But this Friday it will be me. And we'll talk about various aspects on gender diversity, human rights and all that. It will be an interesting show. Other than that, you can check on our website, thaipbsworld.com. We have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook I already said, Instagram and TikTok as well.
Thank you so much for tuning in and see you next week.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ